Global TV News Express. Government assures on President Bola Tinubu's commitment to tackling growing unemployment rate. Vice President Kashif Shettima makes case for family values, says they are solution to economic social challenges. In business, federal government eyes $1 billion agri investment by 2027. On the foreign scene, 16 killed in Pakistan's fresh northwest sectarian clash. And in sports, I know on Roma Raider, Forest wants £8 million. Paul George scores 23 on Sixers debut. Hello and a very warm welcome to all of our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agmofwegbe. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365 and free to air on Nigecomsat. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has formally agreed to permit oil marketers who operate under the auspices of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, to commence the lifting of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, from its depot at a lower price. The Nigerian Midstream and Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has also committed to issuing import and off-taker licenses to the oil dealers to either import fuel directly or purchase products straight from the Dangote refinery, in line with the government plan to fully deregulate the oil sector. This came after the association threatened to cease operations nationwide due to the high costs associated with loading petroleum products from NNPCL facilities. However, in a new agreement reached following a peace meeting facilitated by the Director General of the Department of State Services, Adeola Ajayi, the national oil firm has permitted the loading of products to cover the $15 billion owed to the marketers. Vice President Kashif Shettima says the low labor force participation occasioned by the staggering unemployment rate in Nigeria must be reversed. The Vice President made the promise during the launch of the Nasarawa State Human Capital Development Strategy document and Gender Transformative Human Capital Development Policy Framework in Lafia, the state capital, where he emphasized that the administration's goal is to empower Nigerians with globally competitive skills that will enable Nigerian workers excel both domestically and in the international markets. In a different development, Vice President Kashif Shettima has called for a return to traditional family values as solution to the country's social and economic challenges. Speaking at the Muslim Family Summit in Abuja, Shettima was said to have emphasized the urgent need to reinforce traditional family structures as a grassroots approach to addressing Nigeria's pressing issues. Let's turn to other stories for you now on the News Express. A special advisor to President Bola Tinubu on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, says the president can go wherever he likes as he is still observing his 2-week leave. This followed criticism trailing Tinubu's trip from the United Kingdom to France. In a post via X, Onanuga said President Tinubu is on leave and can travel wherever he chooses. The Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, has demanded the immediate reversal of the latest increase in the cost of petroleum products to 1,030 naira. A statement by the association's president, Afam Osigwe SAN, says the NBA expressed concern that such decisions continue to be made without transparent consultation or dialogue with relevant stakeholders, including civil society and the private sector. Meanwhile, the Socio-Economic Crisis and Accountability Project, SERAP, has urged President Bola Tinubu to direct the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, to immediately reverse the second increase in petrol prices in 1 month, pending the hearing and determination of the suit before the Federal High Court in Abuja, challenging the legality of the powers of the nation's oil company to increase petrol prices. SERAP's Deputy Director, Kolawole Oluwadare, says the organization had last month filed a lawsuit against the president and the NNPCL over the company's alleged failure to reverse the unlawful increase in the pump price of petrol and to probe the allegations of corruption and mismanagement in the NNPCL. Serap further noted that it believes the latest increase in petrol prices makes a mockery of the case pending before the Federal High Courts and creates a risk that the course of justice will be seriously impeded or prejudiced in this case. Governor Umar Namadi of Jigawa State has suspended his special advisor on salary and pensions, Bashir Ado, over an alleged premature statement on 70,000 naira minimum wage. This is contained in a statement signed by the Secretary to the State Government, Bala Ibrahim, in Dutse. Ibrahim says the government viewed with serious concern the statement calculated and circulating in various sections of the media, alleging that the governor had approved 70,000 naira as a new minimum wage for workers in the state. He says this is embarrassing and premature, as the committee headed by the head of the civil service settled by the government to advise on the appropriate wage is yet to complete its assignment and submit a report. General Muhammad has been shot by the bandits during an attack on motorists at Kucheri village in Safa local government area of Zamfara state. The bandits were said to have blocked the busy Fanchua-Safa road late evening and attacked motorists. Director General was reportedly receiving medical treatment at the hospital in Gusau, the state capital. Ogun State All Progressives Congress Youth Leaders Forum has condemned the killing of Adeleke Adeyinka, the councillorship candidates for Abeokuta South local governments in the forthcoming November 16 local government election in the state. Adeyinka was killed by some assailants suspected to be cultists at Jide Jones area, Oke-Lewo, Abeokuta, the state's capital. The gunmen were said to have come in a T-tent car, after which one of them stepped out of the vehicle and shot the 40-year-old transport union worker at a close range. As the crisis rocking the People's Democratic Party persists, Chairman of the PDP Governors Forum and Bauchi State Governor Bala Muhammad has charged the factional acting national chairman of the party, Umar Damagun, to revert to status quo. A senior party member informed newsmen that the PDP Governors Forum has called for an emergency meeting on Monday to discuss various concerns regarding the party's future. The PDP stakeholders are reportedly considering the establishment of a caretaker committee to guide the party toward a national convention to elect a new national working committee. Kaduna State's Independent Electoral Commission Chairman Hajara Mohammed says there is no plan by the Commission to rig the forthcoming local government election in the state, cautioning politicians to refrain from violence and hate speech during the election period. The chairman made these comments during the stakeholders' engagement and sensitization meeting, urging all political parties to support the officials assigned to their constituencies in conducting free, fair, peaceful, and credible elections. The Commissioner of Police, Imo State Command, CP Aboki Danjuma, has ordered the arrest of an officer and his team for extorting money from commercial bus drivers. The command's public relations officer, ASP Henry Okoye, disclosed this in a statement on X. A 15-second video showed a policeman collecting money from commercial bus drivers plying the road. Okoye assured that all would be personally identified the officers and share their details to show that the command has zero tolerance for extortion. Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos have arrested a Thailand returnee, Ogwejiofo Simon Peter, for importing 13.30 kilograms of heroin worth over 3.192 billion naira. Ogwejiofo was arrested while attempting to smuggle out of the airport the drug concealed in 6 backpacks and then packed into 2 big suitcases. According to a statement by the agency spokesperson, Femi Babafemi, the suspect left Thailand on October 3 on a Qatar Airways flight and stopped over in Doha, where he spent 2 days before heading to Lagos, while his luggage was routed to Accra, Ghana, his original destination. 4 youths have been killed in Plateau State following an attack by gunmen in Bokos local government areas of the state. It was learned that the victims were working at a mining site in the Batura community when the gunmen attacked Them around 9 p.m., killing 4 persons on the spot. President of Butura Youth Movement, Sebastian Majid, confirmed the killing in a statement. Majid said the gunmen also injured 5 other persons during the attack before they fled the area. Renowned educationist and the Asiwaju of Oshogbo land, Ajadi Badmus, has died at the age of 83. Badmus died in the early hours of today in Oshogbo, Osun State capital. In a tribute signed by his spokesman, Olawale Rashid, the state governor, Ademola Adeleke, described Badmus' exit as an unfortunate development at a time Oshogbo is witnessing a rapid development in line with the dream of the deceased. Governor Adeleke, who lamented the transition to eternal glory of Badmus, condoled the Ajota of Oshogbo in council and all Oshogbo sons and daughters of the community over the death of their elder statesman. Lagos State University Teaching Hospital has gotten a Center for Advanced Neonatal Studies. A statement by the hospital's management revealed that the initiative was spearheaded by its Department of Pediatrics. The new center aims to position the Lagos State Teaching Hospital as a leading force in national healthcare training in Nigeria and the sub-Saharan region, reinforcing the institution's status as a pioneer in qualitative healthcare development. You're watching the live broadcast of News Express on Global Television, coming to you from the nation's capital, Abuja. When the news returns, the federal government says it is targeting a $1 billion agricultural investment by 2020. Details and more stories for you behind this short break. Please do stay with us. This is Global Television, bringing you a live broadcast of News Express with Uyi Agbomofwegbe. Thank you so very much for staying with us. Now let's turn to business. The federal government is targeting $1 billion agricultural investments and 500,000 jobs by 2027 by the Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zones Program. The government, in partnership with several development financing institutions, including African Development Bank, the International Fund for Agricultural Development, and the Islamic Development Bank, has started implementation of the first phase of the SAPZ in 7 states. SAPZ-1, which is being implemented in Cross River, Imo, Ogun, Oyo, Kaduna, Kano, and Kwara states, targets $1 billion in new investment from private sector companies within the agro-processing hubs and agricultural transformation centers, as well as 500,000 jobs disaggregate by direct and indirect age group and gender. Enugu State government has clarified the controversial mortuary tax imposed on corpses in the state, stating that it was not intended as a revenue-generating measure, but rather to discourage excessive storage of deceased bodies in mortuaries. The executive chairman of Enugu State Internal Revenue Service, Emmanuel Namani, says this while reacting to the mortuary tax circular addressed to all mortuary attendants. According to the circular, ESIRS, in line with the provisions of Section 34 of the Birth, Deaths and Burials Law, Cap 15, revised laws of Enugu State 2004, approved the implementation of the mortuary tax. Elsewhere, the federal government of Nigeria has generated 103.7 billion naira in revenue from the electronic money transfer levies in the first half of 2024. According to data from the Central Bank of Nigeria's Statistical Bulletin, this represents a 7.55% increase when compared to the 96.44 billion naira collected during the same period in 2023. This figure shows the growing use of digital payments platforms and a higher volume of electronic transactions as more Nigerians and businesses embrace digital banking solutions. Nigeria is facing a worsening food security crisis, with more than 1 million additional people experiencing severe food insecurity in 2024 compared to the previous year. This is according to the recently released Food Security Update report by the World Bank. The reports indicated that Nigeria, alongside Ethiopia and Yemen, had witnessed a significant rise in the number of people facing acute food shortages. On the foreign scene now, at least 16 people, including 3 women and 2 children, were killed in a fresh sectarian clash in Pakistan's northwest. Sunni and Shiite Muslim tribes have been engaged in intermittent fighting for several months in the Kuram district of Pakistan's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. Kuram, formerly a semi-autonomous area, has a history of bloody confrontations between tribes belonging to the Sunni and Shiite sects of Islam that have claimed hundreds of lives over the years. Lebanese official media says an Israeli airstrike had destroyed a mosque in the war-torn south, the latest attack as Israel intensified its bombardment campaign on the country in recent weeks. At around 3:45 a.m. local time, enemy aircraft carried out an airstrike targeting the old mosque in the center of the village of Kfar Tibnit, describing it as the national news agency reported. A village mayor, Ford Yassin, told newsmen that the local, located about 8 kilometers from the border, had lost a beloved site that brought people together. King Charles has confirmed that it is up to the Australian people to decide whether the country remains a constitutional monarchy or becomes a republic ahead of the King's visit to Australia next week. The Australian Republic movement exchanged letters with Buckingham Palace officials writing on the King's behalf. Correspondent from the palace says that whether Australia becomes a republic is a matter for the Australian public to decide. And now time to get some excitement from the world of sports. Ola Aina's consistent sterling performances for Nottingham Forest and Nigeria have attracted the interest of AS Roma, who have him on a list of targets. That's according to Nottingham Forest News. The Premier League club are reportedly looking for at least £8 million for the wingback, with whom they are currently in advanced talks to sign a new deal at the City Ground, which is just a reward for his performance in the shirt. Paul George's scoring touch was on display in his preseason debut with the Philadelphia 76ers. Georgia made 8 of 15 shots and scored a team-high 23 points in a 1-1, 1-1 loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves in Des Moines, Iowa. He logged 26 minutes, hit 4 3-pointers and added 6 rebounds and 2 assists. His exhibition debut continued a stretch of new faces in new places during this preseason, including Karl Anthony Towns in New York, Chris Paul in San Antonio, DeMar DeRozan in Sacramento, and Klay Thompson in Dallas. Mauricio Pochettino has made a winning start to his reign as coach of the United States, with AC Milan's Yunus Musa on target in a 2-0 win over Panama. Argentine Pochettino, the former Tottenham, Paris Saint-Germain and Chelsea coach, was brought in last month to take over a team which had won just once in their last 7 games. He will lead the USA to the 2026 World Cup, which they are co-hosting with Canada and Mexico. And while he had only 5 days to work with this new squad, his influence was already evident. A great way to start a new phase it is. As we end News Express on Global Television, here's a quick look at some of our big stories for you. The federal government has assured on President Bola Tinubu's commitment to tackle growing unemployment rates. Vice President Kashif Shettima has made a case for family values, noting that they are solutions to socio-economic challenges. In business, federal government has announced its plan to drive a $1 billion agricultural investment by 2027. On the foreign scene, 16 persons have been killed in Pakistan's fresh northwest sectarian clash. Finally, in sports, we told you Paul George has scored 23 on Sixers' debut. And that's your News Express, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Just a quick reminder to our viewers that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365, Star Times 276, and free to air all night comes out. We encourage you to follow us across all our social media platforms using the handle at Global TVNG, as well as other handles as you now see on your screen. I'm Uyi Agmofwewe. Thank you very specially for watching. Remember to join us at 6 o'clock West Africa time for News Cycle.